So this week I watched a documentary about Princess Diana, and I believe I made two or three other videos in relation to that documentary. Each one of them had different focus, and I picked different clips, different part of that documentary for whatever point of view I was trying to make. And I think I got copyright flagged on it. I don't care because I'm not making money off of it, and I just wanted to point out certain aspect of it. And recording this, it came to mind. I probably will be flagged from picking clips from that same videos. But I was just thinking that seeing the video, the documentary, seeing how beautiful Princess Diana is, and her husband didn't really give her that much attention, the love that she needed. And it made me realize and think how many women nowadays will go completely out of their way to get a man attention. And we're looking at Princess Diana and Charles, and Charles did not love her at all. And I mean, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I don't want to put anyone down, but if you look at Diana, how on earth a man will not love her? And she had the most purest heart from what I'm seeing, and people she's met have spoke positively about her.
For Simon Barnes and his spinal research charity, that first invitation to Kensington Palace proved just the start of a long-lasting relationship. 10 years later, Diana was still insisting on turning up for the launch of new fundraising events. Her relationship with Simon had also deepened.
I'd sent her a book called The Celestine Prophecy, which is another spiritual kind of story. And she wrote back exactly the same day and says, "Dear Simon, I was enormously touched to receive your lovely present. Marvellous of you to be so thoughtful. I hope 1997 will be a happy year for you. Personally, I can't wait to get out of this one. Lots of love, Simon, and a huge heartfelt thanks for my book. Love, Diana." And a kiss. Maybe the gravity of her situations in her domestic life was such that it would be unbearable, perhaps, if she didn't have that sense of support. She was saying thank you for helping me, and I'll help you and you help me type thing, yeah.
The Refuge charity for victims of domestic violence also had a special private relationship with Diana. Her visits became regular. Some were filmed, and the footage gives a fascinating insight into her own relationships.
I was actually a resident at Refuge, and I was at quite a low point in my life. It had started to improve, of course, once I'd got here, but to have Diana visiting us was really impressive, you know, and it really helped us, I think. It helped raise our self-esteem. It certainly helped raise mine. It was as though she was saying, yes, you matter, you count.
It was so interesting. So when I came here last time, we did a group session, and you asked all the ladies to name something positive they'd done in the week.
Yeah.
And it was quite a stumbling block for some of us.
Yeah.
Because people had to really think. If you asked them what the negative aspects of the week had been, you would have been flooded. But because it was positive, we all had to really think hard. Do you remember?
I think Diana had a great knack of making people feel at ease. She was a communicator. She could talk to anyone and make them feel relaxed. She was wonderful with the women. I'm sure you remember Jill. She would be very relaxed and friendly and warm and open, and she was very witty. She had a marvelous sense of humor. Would you like to participate? Hot flush coming. I think we'll pass.
Rather than feeling amazed at this presence, I actually felt that I'd made a friend.
And you like yourself a bit better now?
Yes, yes.
She cared deeply about the issue. She thought it was unacceptable to abuse a woman and beat a person up, and that she saw how the children were affected by abuse. Like a lot of people who come to the organization or who work here, you do become very committed and passionate about the work because it is an injustice.
A lot of my friends were happy, either happy in their relationships or
Do you think they actually were, or do you think they were going through a similar thing as you and they were equally embarrassed not to share it?
She wasn't interested whether the press or the media or the world knew that she was here. She was here because she cared about refuge. She cared about the abused women. She cared about the abused children. She cared about me. And that really impressed me.
And she's done her work very well. Pretty much speak for itself.
Will always remain an untold story. Would she have remarried? How far might she have gone? What other causes would she have championed? What we do know is this. In the time she was here, when she didn't have to, Princess Diana chose to make a difference.
Historically, I'm sure she will be remembered as the unhappy victim of a broken royal marriage. But it's even more important that we should remember her as a very strong and effective force for good.
And her husband did not love her.
He clearly didn't want to be there. And it's easy to sit here now and say that's the fact. But when you were watching it, you know, it's like you could see his mum's boot print on the back of his jacket.
You know, I was just thinking about it and I wanted to record it. I'm not sure if I'm going to make a video out of it. But, you know, Charles loved someone else. Like I said, beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
She was an absolute stunner, an absolute gorgeous woman. And then you look at him, you think, whoa, she's marrying her granddad. She's marrying her granddad.
But it's just heartbreaking to see she did marry for love.
And I suppose in love.
Of course.
Whatever in love means.
And the husband, I don't know, I guess.
Whatever in love means.
Diana said, oh, yes, of course, you know, through her eyelashes. Prince Charles said, well, whatever love means. You know, alarm bells, woot, woot, woot.
It's always a winner, that line. It always works. If a woman ever says, oh, I love you, just say back, I know, darling, I love you too. Whatever that means. But mutter it, don't say it.
It's almost like she's nudging him. Come on, we don't tell you here. Just at least make a bit of an effort. I know you have to see Camilla in a bit, but come on. Please don't show me up.
I was brought up in the sense that, you know, when you got engaged with someone, you loved them. And the most extraordinary thing is we had this ghastly interview the day we announced our engagement, and this ridiculous ITN man said, are you in love? So I thought, what a thick question. So I said, yes, of course we are, in the sort of fat, stern ranger that I was. And Charles turned around and said what ever in love means. And that threw me completely. I thought, what a strange question.
How strange you are.
God, that was to traumatise me. And Charles turned around and said what ever in love means. And that threw me completely. God, that was to traumatise me.
Just wanted the heir to the throne and marry her for kids. And that was it. And it's painful to watch. A couple pictures that I've seen, I probably will have to look for those pictures now. I saw where Diana is handing Charles some trophy from a polo match, and she kissed him, and you could see the love in her face. It's really sad to see that she married for love, but the husband did not love her.
But behind the palace walls, it was quite a different story. Endless misunderstandings led to hurt feelings, constant arguments to cold shoulders. Diana and Charles never found their stride together. 5 years into the marriage, Diana said she suspected her husband had gone back to Camilla Parker Bowles, and she confronted him about it.
I remember saying to my husband, you know, why this lady around? And he said, well, I refused to be the only Prince of Wales who never had a mistress.
And she had wanted to back out of the marriage, but her family, her sister, told her it was too late, and she still had time. She could have backed out.
Just weeks before their wedding day, Diana overheard Charles talking to his ex on the telephone.
She heard him on the telephone saying to Camilla, whatever happens, I will always love you. And that's before he went off to Australia. And we have famous footage of her crying as he climbs aboard his plane.
At the time, the press just figured Diana was sad to see him go. But in reality, she was wondering if she should call the whole thing off. Andrew Morton says just 2 days before the wedding, Diana asked her sisters if she should back out.
And they said to her, you know, too late, Dutch. Your face is on the tea towels now, which is all the souvenir tea towels. You can't chicken out. And on the day she married, whilst the eyes of the world were upon Diana, she had eyes for one woman alone, and that was Camilla Parker Bowles. And as she walked down the aisle with her father, Earl Spencer, she was looking out for Camilla, and she spotted her in the crowd, and she thought to herself as she walked down to meet Prince Charles, I hope that relationship is now over and we can go on with our married life.
But Diana decided to give him a chance, and thus began a significant new chapter in her life.
It's her story is very sad, but anyway, it's just a thought, and I wanted to share that part with you. That's it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share.